Okay, now we come to the final part of the Manodharmam segment of the Tapas project. We started this segment by my giving you ground rules for Kalpana Swara singing. Then we practiced Kalpana Swaras. Then we came to ground rules for Neraval singing. We practiced Neraval. Then we took up Raga Alapana. I gave you the rules for that. We done some Raga practice. And then you practice Neraval and Swaras in Anupalipa. So you have covered all this ground. And you have done an in-depth study of Todi. Now, I intend to give you some guidelines on concert planning, especially because the duration of concerts has come down from 5 hours to 2 hours, 1.5 hours. It's very important for you to plan every item of the concert such that you are able to present a balanced fare to the audience depending on the composition of the audience. So, you need to draw up a well-balanced program which should fit into the allotted time, first of all. General rule is to start with a varnam. It is useful for warming up the voice. Follow it up with 1 or 2 Madhyamakala kritis, preferably in an Antaragandhara raga, like Kedaram, Bilahari, Hamsadvani, like that. Antaragandharam helps you to steady the voice. It's quite useful at the beginning of the concert. Pantural is also a good choice in the early part of the concert. Gives a bright start. You can sing a short alapna and follow it up with a small kriti like Aparama Bhakti or Ninne Nera. It brightens the proceedings. And then you can settle down to the main part of the concert with a Vilambakala kriti in a Rakti Raga. Ananda Bhairavi is an all-weather friend. Whatever is the state of your voice, you can rely on Ananda Bhairavi to see you through. So that will be a very good choice. Or we can choose something in Riti Gaulai. Choose a nice Rakti Raga at that stage of the concert. Sing a Vilambakala kriti after the Neraval and Swaras that you have sung in Madhyamakala earlier. And the choice of ragas and songs going forward after the initial 2 or 3 pieces, do everything possible to keep the audience interested, to keep the monotony away. This can be achieved in a variety of ways. Number 1, do not sing very similar ragas next to each other. Shishta ragas. You can give me examples of very similar ragas. Good. So that way, that kind of juxtaposition of very similar ragas should be avoided. Secondly, don't sing 2 or 3 songs in a row in the same tala. That will cause monotony. And more importantly, it is no good varying the tala if you do not vary the kala pramana. This is very important. If you keep on varying the tala but singing the same kala pramana, boredom will not go away. And then bear in mind the relevance of the context, the venue, the occasion. If you are performing a Navaratri concert in a Devi temple, obviously most of your songs should be on Devi. If you are singing a Ramanavami concert, most of your songs should be on Rama. That said, you also need to achieve variety in languages. The core part of the concert will consist of the compositions of the Trinity. Therefore, there the language consideration does not enter. It would be Telugu or Sanskrit. There are a few Tamil compositions of Shama Shastri. but mostly it will be Telugu or Sanskrit. Tyagaraja and Dikshita. But depending upon where you are performing, if you are performing in Karnataka, for example, you must make it a point to include compositions of Purandar Dasa, other Dasas, Kannada composition, Kanaka Dasa, other Dasas of the Dasa Kuta. That is very important. The audience would expect it. Similarly, if you are performing in Kerala, make sure to sing Manipravalam song or Malayalam Padam of Swati Tirunal. These things help to achieve better rapport with the audience, because then they are able to understand the lyrics and they respond better to the music as a result. The multi-language approach is very important in an online concert also, because you don't know who is logging in from where. So it's better to maintain a good variety of languages in any online concert. If you are singing in the west or the north or the east, you must make it a point to include a Meera Bhajan or a Kabir Bhajan or a Tukaram Abhang or something in Bengali or something in Gujarati, depending on the composition of the audience. If it's a 2-hour concert, you can afford to allot no more than 40 minutes to a Ragam Tanam Pallavi. If it's a 1.5 hour concert, you can sing a major Kriti in 25 to 30 minutes in place of Ragam Tanam Pallavi. But if a Pallavi is expected, sometimes even in a 1.5 hour concert, you are asked to sing a Pallavi, you should be ready with a half an hour Pallavi. In that case, you should be ready with a small Pallavi which you can do justice to in half an hour. Like Veduka Chalangi in Saveri. There are other small Pallavis like that you have heard me sing. The duration of each Raga Alapana must bear a sense of proportion to the overall time that can be set aside for that suite of Raga, Kriti, Niraval and Swaras. For example, a submain, you can allot 15 minutes, let us say. Then your Raga Alapana should be no more than 3 minutes. Violinist will play for 2.5 minutes. The Kriti will go on for 4 minutes. You can sing Niraval Swaras or only Swaras for 4 or 5 minutes. For such a Kriti, you shouldn't be singing Ragas for 13 minutes. So you have to be careful to maintain a sense of proportion. Now, I have an interesting question to ask you. So the tail-end pieces must be chosen to cater to the taste of the particular audience you are singing to. But what I wanted to ask you was, I have taught you all the 30 Tripavis. So suppose you are asked to sing a Tirupavai concert. How will you plan it? How will you draw from these 30 songs to build a viable concert structure?
We'll probably start with Natayam, Margaret Tingal. And submain, we can sing Ambarale, Kalyanila.
No. If it's a Tirupavai concert, you cannot use Ambarame as submain. What you can do is, you can sing Natai or Arabi, Ongi Ulagalanda, in place of a Varnam. And then you can sing a small piece just after the Varnam, like a Hamsadhani piece or something that you sing in a regular concert. Instead of that, you can sing Pullinvai in Rupakam, Natana, or L.A. Ilankiliye in Begadi in Rupakam. This will serve that purpose, that part of the concert. After that, you can sing Varali for 3 minutes or so, sing Aimale Kanna, sing Niraval Swaras. After that, render a sedate rendering of Ananda Bhairavi, Ungal Pudekadai. Don't worry about the sequence when you are giving a Tirupavai concert. You have to go on musical considerations and not lyrics considerations. You cannot sing the Tirupavais in sequence in a unless it's a Tirupavai concert where they want to sing, where they want to hear only the 15 Tirupavais in sequence, that is different. But where you are asked to give a Tirupavai concert and you are given the liberty to shift the placement of the Tirupavais, you should do it having regard to where it would be in a regular concert. Where such a composition would be in a regular concert. So once you have done that, you have sung a warm-up song, you you have sung a sedate song. After you have sung Niravilan Swaras in Varali. After that, you have sung a sedate Mayanai in Sriragam or Anandabhairu Ungal Puzhaikadai. Alright? And then you have a string of Rakti Ragas to choose from going forward before the main item. You have Hamir Kalyani, Puri Kalyani, Dhanyasi, Saveri, Sahana, Darbar, Hussaini. So you have all these Tirupaves from which you can choose for that part of the concert, the pre-main part of the concert. Now we come to the main item. Main item should be Pullum Silambinakan Sankarabaranam, Mr. Chap, or Kesikishan to Bhairavi, Mr. Chap, or Notru Churkam Todi, Mr. Chap, or Ambaramai Tannire Kandachap, Kalyani, or Karavaigal Kamboji, Aditalam Randikalai, 28. So one of these can be the main item where you can sing the major raga and sing the royal swaras. After that, we come to the tail end pieces. You have a Ragamalika available, Mupatumuvar. That string you can sing. In light ragas, you have Behag, Urtimaganai, Andrivulagam, Sindhubairivi, Malay Manivanna, Kundalavarali. Any of these you can sing as a tail end piece. And to wind it up, you can sing Vanga Kadal in Surati. That's it. So this will look like a regular concert if you structure it this way. I'm going to ask you to do something which I don't know. May or may not be palatable, but it's very important. You must practice with a real tambura, not just this box. And you must use a real tambura in all your concerts. It makes a difference. Even visually, it makes a difference. If you have this tambura in a concert, then that is the least of it. The more important thing is if you keep on practicing this tambura, you are compelled to tune it accurately every morning. That's a great training to improve your Shruti Jnana. Therefore, it's not like just switching on something and singing. So you must make it a point to practice the real tambura with or without this. That's very important in my opinion. And then I would advise you to have rehearsals with your peer group of companies. Whether or not those companies are going to accompany you at the forthcoming concert, you will have a peer group, people whom you can call upon to come and practice with you. Practice with companies, whatever you are planning to sing in the concert, that will be a very useful way to get ready for the concert. Because then you will have an idea how much time the violin versions are going to take of the raga alapanas, how much time the Dhanyavatam is going to take. Because time management is your responsibility, sitting in the middle in a concert. So it will be useful to have a rehearsal with the peer group companies. All the above are subject to an overriding rule. Choose songs so that you are able to please the audience in front of you, even if your voice has a bad day. Okay, this is more or less, these are the points you should bear in mind when you plan a concert. If you do that, it will definitely improve the output for the audience, which is what is important. Now we will wind up this session with a couple of pieces. Why don't you sing a shlokam? Sing one from Kanakadhara and another from Sri Stuti.
Sarasi janilaye saroja haste dhavanatama shuka gandhamalya shobhe varade bhagavati hari vallabhe manogye tribhuvana नित्यम् अग्रे भर्तुः सरसिजमये भद्रपीठे निषन्नाम् अम्भोराशे अधिगतसुधा सम्प्लवादुत्थितां त्वाम् पुष्पासारस्थगितभुवनैः पुष्कलावर्तकाद्यैः क्लृप्तारम्भा कनककलशैः क्लृप्तारम्भा कनककलशैः अभ्यषिञ्चन् गजेन्द्राः.
Panchamush, you sing a stanza from Vadivudai Manikyamalai. The Sailor Video in Kannada. Some more volume.
சேலேர் விழியருள் தேரே சேலேர் விழியருள் தேரே அடியருள் தித்திக்கும் செம்பாலே மதுரச் செம்பாகே சொல்வேதப்பனுவல் சொல்வேதப்பனுவல் முடிமேலே விளங்கும் விளக்கே சொல்வேதப்பனுவல் முடிமேலே விளங்கும் விளக்கே சொல்வேதப்பனுவல் முடிமேலே விளங்கும் விளக்கே அருளொற்றி வித்தகனார் அருளொற்றி வித்தகனார் மாலே கொழும் மாலே கொழும் எழில் மாலே மாலே கொழும் எழில் மானே எழில் மானே மாலே கொழும் எழில் மானே வடிவுடை மாணிக்கமே மாணிக்கமே வடிவுடை மாணிக்கமே மாணிக்கமே
Yes. I will sing the Yadugala composition of my Guru's Guru. Nabritani completari Nabritani completari Tamasam bhujezedi sarigadu ramano harasami daradura Tamasam bhujezedi sarigadu ramano ಹರಸಾಮಿ ತಾಳದುರ್ಗ ಕಾಮಜನಕನ ವಿಲ್ನಪಮುನು ವಿನಿ ಕರುಣತ್ವ ರಾರಸೀನಿವಾಸಾತ ತಕಿಟ ಪನಿರ ವರದ ಜಂತರಿಗಸರಿ ಮಾ ಜನೋದತ ಗಣಗಮ ಸರಿಮಿತಾಂ ತಕಿಟ ಪನಿರ ವರದ ಜಂತರಿಗಸರಿ ಮಾ ಜನೋದತ ಗಣಗಮ ಸರಿ ತಕಿಟ As we come to the end of the Manodharmam segment of this Tapas project, I wish to express my gratitude to all the viewers who have seen these videos and blessed my students. Now we will sing Sri Ramachandran Mangalam. Shruti and Anirudh, you have acquitted yourself very creditably in your participation in the Tapas project. I wish you all the very best in your engineering, in your CA, and I wish both of you to rise to greater heights in music. May Tyaga Brahma bless you. Sri Narada Samarambham, Sri Tyagaraja Madhyamam, Asmad Acharya Padyantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Sri Ramachandranika Jaya Mangalam, Sri Ramachandranika Jaya Mangalam, Nalla Divya Mukha Chandranika Shubha Mangalam, Nalla Divya Mukha Chandranika Shubha Mangalam. மாராபிராமனுக்கு மனுபரந்தாமனுக்கு மாராபிராமனுக்கு மனுபரந்தாமனுக்கு ஈராமனுக்கு பரிபூர சோமனுக்கு ஸ்ரீராமச்சந்திரனுக்கு ஜெயமங்கலம். கொண்டமணி வண்ணனுக்கு கண்ணனுக்கு மங்களம். கொண்டமணி வண்ணனுக்கு கண்ணனுக்கு மங்களம். கோசலை குமாரனுக்கு வீரனுக்கு மங்களம். கோசலை குமாரனுக்கு வீரனுக்கு மங்களம். குண்டலிக தாளனுக்கு பூச்சக ஆளனுக்கு புண்டரிக தாளனுக்கு பூச்சக்ராளனுக்கு தண்டுளவ தோழனுக்கு ஜானகி மணாளனுக்கு தண்டுளவ தோழனுக்கு ஜானகி மணாளனுக்கு ஸ்ரீராமச்சந்திரனுக்கு ஜெயமங்கலம். நல்ல திவ்ய முக சந்திரனுக்கு சுபமங்கலம்.